Welcome back, YouTubers, to Q&A 155 with us, the British Fist.
Judging.
With me, Mr. Parker, and this guy sitting next to me. What the fuck shirt is that? What the fuck shirt is that?
The Hardy Boys!
Yeah, okay then, that's a good shirt. I just never expected you to have a Hardy Boys shirt. If you have any questions for us, please put them in the comment section below. And NJ, you forgot to do something.
Thank you. What's up?
That's a good and very unique what's up. Let's just go straight on into these questions. I can't believe you have a Hardy Boys t-shirt. And I'm still wearing the same old t-shirt that I always fucking wear in videos, the Ilt Kid. Do you think the Bad News Barrett push will be contained in a mid-card feud, or will he be pushed towards the main event? If so, do you think he'll be like Ziggler, where he'll get pushed, then de-pushed, and then pushed, then de-pushed? I can see Wade Barrett's push being contained in the mid-card. Now he has the IC Championship. But, I mean, I think it is a gimmick that could go through to the main event, whether it be as a heel or a babyface. But I think to do that, he probably would have to win Money in the Bank.
With the thing is, the WWE must know that Barrett has the heel package that they should have pushed ages ago, and now they found something that works for him. It's time to put him through the mid card and find a Money in the Bank or Rumble win to put him where he should have been ages ago.
Yeah, I mean, it's taken this long. I mean, you know, after 4 or 5 years, you would think that he would be in the main event, or WWE would have made him into some kind of top star by now. I hopes this time they actually go there with him, but you never fucking know with WWE. And even if they do, he may turn out to be like a Dolph Ziggler and get pushed, then de-pushed and stuff. We don't know what the WWE are like when it comes to these things. Do you think that Alexander Rusev will be pushed very fast and then will get beaten by Cena and turn into a mid-carder like Umaga, Tensai, etc.? I think he won't even really reach getting beat by Cena. I think he'll probably get to SummerSlam, lose his first match to someone, maybe like a Daniel Bryan. I don't know, someone like that, another babyface, and then once he's lost his first match, he's kind of like just going to go.
Well, quickly, I wouldn't really put Umaga in that aspect because he did get somewhat of a story, even though he didn't get the championship that he should have had for some time.
The billionaires.
That thing. But to be honest, as for Tensai on that, Rusev could, if he does not get saved by upper talent wrestler that holds him in a better place.
Yes, the Rossi Bossy 1987. Should Sister Abigail be a real character? If so, which diva would be the best to portray her?
With those pictures that John Cena made, hopefully she won't look like that. Sister Abigail as a NXT...
If they hadn't have brought up Lana, I would have said Lana. That would have been a good one.
I'd say they could, to be honest, if she's not going to be a diva, they could find any character that has a kind of look that Bray Wyatt or the Wyatt family.
They could even find an actress or something that could do that. I don't think there's any characters that I've seen so far in NXT that could pull that off, unless Alexa Bliss turns into a heel. Victoria, yeah, but everyone would know she's Victoria. That's the problem. You probably have to get an actress in. Let's hope they don't do another Claire Lynch. BG Rocky. Question 1. Do you think that Wade Barrett has gotten more over than ever since there? I will repeat the question, I'm sorry. Do you think that Wade Barrett has gotten more over than ever since his Nexus angle from 2010 and will most likely become a great hype mid-card of the WWE? I mean, yeah, he was very over in Nexus. The Bad News Barrett gimmick is getting pretty over now. I mean, he was getting cheers over Big E in the IC match at Extreme Rules, so I think he is the most over he's been since Nexus. I don't think he was incredibly over when he was feuding with Randy Orton, but the Bad News Barrett gimmick is something that the fans can latch onto, which has kind of made him over. And will he become a high mid carder for WWE? He'll be a mid carder definitely, but the question is really, should WWE have made him into a main event guy?
I'm very happy with all these Wade Barrett questions because it's showing that the fans are starting to realise Barrett's in a good direction right now. And I think the WWE will know that too, hence why he's on TV a lot, why he's now the champion. Hopefully the WWE continue to push him, and I see him becoming a high mid-card, and hopefully, like we said earlier, latch on to the Money in the Bank or the Rumble.
Or maybe even a returning King of the Ring. Hopefully that will make it happen, but clicking never really ever works in life. Question 2. What are your opinions on WWE for the first time having a barbed wire death match? Next question. Tim Crace. Can you see Brie Bella versus Stephanie at SummerSlam? I mean, the story's there. I mean, the two women, Stephanie obviously doing shit to Daniel Bryan. Now Daniel Bryan is injured because of, well, they said it was because of the neck injury, but they could have done it because of Kane. So Brie Bella versus Stephanie would make storyline sense if they went that way. The problem is, would we really want to see it?
The WWE, first there was rumours that Stephanie joined a wrestler contract thing. That's why we all thought maybe an AJ Stephanie feud. That didn't happen. So now they're going to take a step down because of the Bryan storyline and put Stephanie in a match with Brie. That would have only really happened, I think, if Triple H was still heavy on Bryan. So I'm going to say no.
Yeah, I'm going to say no as well, but I'm saying the storyline could be there if they wanted to do it. Would it be pre-show? I highly doubt it. Do you think that WWE should John Cena and Nikki Bella here? Sorry, you probably mispronounced that. Basically, I think what you mean there is, do you think that WWE should turn John Cena and Nikki Bella heel? No, simply because it would be detrimental for business right now, especially after learning that WWE's stock price has gone down to a record low since 1999, and Vince McMahon is now no longer a billionaire and has lost $350 million. Dollars.
And even though that John Cena's not considered as the guys up there with the NXT wrestlers up there now, with Bray Wyatt and all this going on, I think that turning him heel is still a unlikable concept that the WWE would put John Cena in.
I mean, a lot of fans would say, yeah, turn John Cena heel, yeah, but essentially the fans would probably cheer him instead of booing him, and he'd just be totally useless as a heel. Just give him a character change. Give him more of an edge. That's all. What about these matches at WrestleMania 31? Sting versus Taker, CM Punk versus Stone Cold, Brock Lesnar versus Batista, Randy Orton versus Roman Reigns, John Cena and Nikki versus Daniel Bryan and Brie Bella. I mean, if the streak was still intact, I would say Sting versus Taker would be a good drawing match. Probably both of their last matches in WWE. CM Punk versus Stone Cold. Yeah, yeah, I wish to. Brock and Batista would be an interesting match, especially for like a mid-card draw match.
With the news that Batista's still scheduled to come back, I still think that him against Big Guy would happen. But if Brock doesn't sign, is Batista the right person to finish on?
He is on a 2-year contract, so I would say yeah, because he's going to at least be benefiting WWE for another year. Randy Orton versus Roman Reigns would be a good way of maybe putting over Roman Reigns if they wanted to go there. I imagine they probably would do. John Cena and Nikki versus Daniel Bryan and Brie Bella. I say no to that one because who the fuck would be the heels?
And it's not really a John Cena style team. Even a tag team at WrestleMania, John Cena tag team doesn't really scream out that's what we're going to put Cena in.
John Cena with the Bella twins. It doesn't happen at WrestleMania, I'm afraid, brother. Abdullah Shakar, 7. Will John Cena turn heel one day?
No.
Maybe if they have another top babyface, maybe he will turn heel.
No.
But the big answer to that question is
no. WWE and TNA Talk. What did you guys think of Magnus's TNA title?
Do you know, at first when we saw Magnus was going to be the champion...
Yes!
Yeah, exactly. We were, and then they did this whole paper champion bullshit, and yeah, it ruined his character. It really, and then he lost to Eric Young twice, and his character was ruined. The TNA Championship did less for him than anything in TNA ever.
May I have your attention, please? It's your champion speaking. No, that's the only good thing about his run. That quote.
Yeah,
no.
That was an awful run. I don't know how TNA screwed that up so much. I mean,
Full
you have a British guy who is obviously, a future talent, who can talk, who has charisma, who can have a decent match in the ring, and you do that. Like, what the fuck is your problem, TNA? It's one of the reasons I stopped watching your shitty product. Danny Allmark, I should say. Do you know why TNA hasn't been knocked out yet? She's only been on TV 2 times. She's probably only, I don't watch TNA, but she's probably only been on TNA 2 times because they want to focus on the beautiful people and any knockouts they already have. I mean, that's my guess. Instead of introducing new knockouts and pushing them to a degree, they're focusing on the beautiful people again. She
was spotlighted a little bit against the Knockout champion, which showed her in a possible good direction. But the TNA had bigger plans that don't involve her, which is a shame because we keep saying this time after time after time. New knockouts should be brought in and pushed.
After Daniels has left, who do you think will be the next elite TNA? Kazarian.
Mm-hmm.
simply because I believe he only had a couple of days left on his contract when they did the whole menagerie storyline, which I really don't want to go into.
To be honest, I'm surprised. We can name anyone, but I'm surprised that some of them are still signing contracts.
Yeah.
They are.
To be honest, they're offering them less money, and but the thing is, what else can they really do unless they've saved up a good amount of money to retire from professional wrestling? Can they go to Global Force Wrestling? So can they go to WWE?
I wish WWE was interested in some of them.
Well, I mean, some of them could go to, like, Christopher Daniels could go to ROH because he's getting on a little bit and he could probably end his career there. Probably same with Kazarian. They could probably earn decent money in ROH. Probably not as good as TNA, but decent enough to make a living on. It'll be Kazarian, as I know for a fact he's only got a couple of days and his contract's probably expired now. If you was to make young TNA champion, how would you do it?
Oh, God.
We wouldn't. Firstly, you'd have to go to the real depths to make his character more serious, because you know for a fact that people are always going to hark on the fact that Eric Young was a comedy gimmick. So you'd have to spend a long time, I'm talking like a year plus, really making his character, instead of hot-shotting it like they did, and obviously do a copy of the Daniel Bryan angle, you'd have to make it a lot more serious and make people actually believe he could be a champion, not just stick it on him and expect people to believe it.
The Abyss feud and serious on the mic really weren't enough, and I don't think Eric Young, yes, he's been in for 10 years, but I don't think he's someone that could see as a long-term world champion.
Hashtag second-rate company, hashtag minor league company. I don't know. Playlist Maker SG. We've already had this question, but we'll answer it again. If you could change the pay-per-view matches, what would it be? We've already said the Undertaker match. Are there any others that we would change? And when we said Orton beating Triple H at WrestleMania 25, I'd say Shawn Michaels and Undertaker main eventing WrestleMania 25. I know that's not changing the result, but
Triple H versus the Undertaker in the Hell in a Cell with Shawn Michaels as the referee.
Yep, because that would have been a great place to end the streak, and for them to go on the lovely Legends, cloud ride into the heaven of the wrestling Legends gates. But no, they didn't, and now they did it at WrestleMania 30, and let's face it, the streak ended sucked. So there we go. What wrestlers from TNA do you think will become main eventers in WWE? So only ones that haven't been in WWE before. Rude. He's just an all-round package. I think he's the best all-round package that TNA have got. He can talk, he can do a good wrestling match, he's got the character, he's got the gimmick, he can tell a good story. He's by far the most polished wrestler that TNA have. Bobby Roode by a mile.
I think with Bobby Roode, he's the full package. Like I've said before, the Triple H in his olden days, strong. You can see him as a strong heel, head of the company. Bobby Roode's got that in TNA.
Yep, and that's pretty much the only one, in my opinion.
Yep.
If you could create a special match type with more than 6 wrestlers competing in like a Royal Rumble or Money in the Bank, what would it be? I don't know about creating one, but bring back King of the Ring.
What I'd do, quickly from the top of my head, in the Gladiators, they had those sticks with little things at the end, just go, dun, 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 dun. Just do that and knock each other off pedestals.
You'd know Vince Russo would be back in WWE if they started doing shit like that, unless NJ got a job in WWE. Yeah, the Neon Brick. If you could bring up 5 jobbers up to the main event, who would it be? 5 jobbers, Damien Sandow.
R-Truth as a heel.
Alex Riley. R-Truth as a heel. Definitely right there. Who else is in the doghouse? Dolph Ziggler, probably. I mean, maybe if it's just for a short amount of time. Any other wrestlers that are in the doghouse right now that we feel could probably be main eventers?
Cody Rhodes.
Cody Rhodes. Yeah, I'd go with that one. There's 5 there. I think we could definitely bring up to the roster. If you could make any pay-per-view, what would it be called, and what kind of matches would it be based around? I don't really. I mean, King of the Ring. I mean, that's an easy one in my opinion, and not really made up, but it's something. It's hard to really answer these questions. It's hard to answer these questions because there's WWE pretty much done everything now. It's very hard to come up with something new. Renegade Man 83. Do you think WWE will ruin Roman Reigns' push when he does break out from the Shield like they did with Kenny Dykstra when he broke out of the Spirit Squad? Well, hopefully Roman Reigns has learned not to get in the way of John Cena and his relationships with Mickie James backstage. So hopefully no.
Roman Reigns is nothing like Kenny Dykstra. You could see a future in Roman Reigns. Kenny just got a push because he was the most probably talented at the time of the group of them. So I say Roman Reigns has more of a serious future.
Roman Reigns has a better look, really, and he's being pushed a lot better than Kenny Dykstra. I mean, if you're in the fucking Spirit Squad, yes, Dolph Ziggler. If you're in the Spirit Squad, yes, Mike Mondo. If you're in the Spirit Squad, yes, the other 2 that no one really gives a shit about right now. Oh yeah, I did like Mike Mondo in ROH. Well, that was pretty cool, but you know, he's an ROH. That really says all you need to know about Mike Mondo. But yeah, Roman Reigns equals way, way more than Kenny Dykstra. What is your initial reaction when Vince McMahon booked him and Shane in a tag team match against Shawn Michaels and God at Backlash 2006? Well, I thought it was just a glorified way of making a 2-on-1 handicap match.
I think God, yes, there's a storyline behind it targeting Shawn Michaels' belief. So to be honest, you could say, oh, it was stupid having God there and a big light flashing down into the ring. But I'm going to push that to a side. It was a target, it was a storyline, and I was okay with it.
Imagine, I don't remember watching the match, but imagine if God like hip tossed Shane McMahon and they actually sold it. That would be kind of funny, wouldn't it? I mean, I'm not a religious person, so if any fans of Have I Got News For You are out there, I think the better match would have been Shane McMahon and Vince McMahon versus Shawn Michaels on a tub of lard. That would have been a good one. You probably won't get that, but any Have I Got News For You viewers will definitely get that joke. Who is Brock Lesnar going to face at WrestleMania 31? The Rock or Cesaro? I think Cesaro versus Lesnar feels more like a SummerSlam match, in my opinion. If he's going to face The Rock, it'll be at WrestleMania.
We got the talk earlier with Batista being added, but out of your two, I think The Rock stepping up from his SummerSlam match would be the best, but The Rock coming back is seemingly unlikely.
Yeah, I mean, why would you come back now? I don't see the point. Jersey 12361. Who is better, Austin or Hogan? There are so many ways you can go about this question. You can say who was the better in-ring worker, which is probably Austin. Who was better at working the crowd? Hulk Hogan. Who drew more money? They both drew loads of money. They're both very big stars and very wealthy stars as well from the times that they were most popular in the WWE. So, but I'd probably have to go with Hogan because he kind of changed the way WWE and wrestling that company was actually going in the time. Although Austin did as well because,
I just go with Austin because of the way that he was treated back when he was around. When he was there, he got the booking. I'm not saying Hogan didn't get any glorified thing, but I just think Austin was more WWE based, and I feel with what Austin offered for the WWF, WWE was slightly better.
And when you were growing up, Austin was the big star, so you can relate to him more. Yeah?
Yeah, TNA didn't help Hogan.
No, they didn't. Oh, yes, some TNA questions. Yay. Let's get ready for these ones. WWE and TNA Talk. What do you think of TNA Slammiversary 2014's pay-per-view main event, which is MVP versus Eric Young for the world title? Completely fucking bollocks. Who the fuck would want to see that?
Two names, Triple H, Bryan. Next.
And also, what is this about MVP forming a faction with two other people, Bobby Lashley and Kenny King? Is that too much of a copy of Evolution? But yeah, seriously, MVP versus Eric Young for the World Championship. So MVP came in as a babyface and went up against Dixie Carter to get control of wrestling operations, only to turn heel and go after the championship.
And it'd be a big surprise not if Eric Young retains.
Do you think it was too early for an MVP heel turn? Yes. Like, what reason really did he have to turn heel? I know TNA bots will probably correct me in the comment section below, but it just seems to come out of fucking nowhere.
Even though I loved MVP as a heel, but I think with the face, him conflicting against Dixie Carter, me liking him as a face, me liking him running the show, I'm questioning the heel turn. So
what does this mean for Dixie Carter and MVP now? Does that mean now they're heels, they're friends, or are they working together? I don't understand how this is going to work.
Hopefully they don't become friends.
Well, we're not even watching TNA anymore, so why the fuck do we give a shit about this? Ash R. P. Blonde, I should say. Do you think CM Punk is coming back, or do you really think he's done with the WWE? He's done with the WWE, you can tell.
The WWE are pretty sure are not going to give up trying to offer him the biggest deals possible, but I think with CM Punk, as much as it'd be great to have my favourite of the current era before Bray Wyatt got bigger and stuff, I think he's done.
Yep, that's pretty much the answer to that question. That is it for another Q&A with us, the British Fist.
Gotcha.
Still in disbelief you're actually wearing a Hardy Boys t-shirt. But anyway, yeah, that's kind of representative of us, isn't it? Kind of like a tag team which need a t-shirt. But yeah, if you have any questions, please don't do that, NJ. That's very, very distracting and titillating, as one would say. If you have any more questions, please put them in the comment section below. We'll see you for another Q&A next time, NJ.
And thank you very much for watching, people. And please get rowdy. No, that's not what Hardy said. That's what I'm saying to you guys. And thank you very much for watching. Go extreme and goodbye.